The topic of our discussion in this lecture is the popliteal fossa. This lecture will discuss the location, boundaries, and contents of the popliteal fossa. But first, let's talk about what a fossa is. In anatomy, a fossa is a furrow, recess, or shallow depression. If we look at the region of the knee, on the posterior aspect, there is a shallow depression just at the level of the joint. So basically, the popliteal fossa is a diamond-shaped, shallow depression located behind the knee joint, between the thigh and calf bones. It is an important anatomical structure as it contains several critical structures, including muscles, nerves, vessels, and that are essential for movement and sensation. Since I mentioned that the location of the popliteal fossa is where the knee joint is located, here is a brief overview of the anatomy of the knee joint, so it is easier for you to understand the surface anatomy of the popliteal fossa. The components that make up the knee joint are tibia, fibula, lateral meniscus, and medial meniscus. They are located just as the superior end of the tibia. At the medial aspect is the medial collateral ligament. On the lateral aspect is the lateral collateral ligament. Two other ligaments, the anterior cruciate ligament and the posterior cruciate ligament, can be seen here. A cartilaginous layer is seen between the two bones, that is the tibia and the femur bones. At the anterior aspect, a small sesamoid bone called the patella is present. Now let's look at surface anatomy. Just looking at the posterior aspect of the knee, the surface landmarks of the popliteal fossa can be seen. Lateral and medial condyles of the femur and tibia can be identified easily on the sides and front of the knee. The head of the fibula is a bony prominence situated just below the posterolateral aspect of the lateral condyle of the tibia. The fibular collateral ligament of the knee joint is felt like a rounded cord just above the head of the fibula in a flexed knee. These were the bony surface landmarks. Next up we have the common peroneal nerve can be palpated against the posterolateral aspect of the neck of the fibula, medial to the tendon of the biceps femoris, by moving the finger from below upwards. In the lower part of the popliteal fossa, two heads of the gastrocnemius form rounded cushions that merge inferiorly into the calf. When the knee is flexed against resistance, the hamstrings can be seen and palpated easily right up to their insertion. Medially, the rounded tendon of the semitendinosus lies superficial to the flat tendon of the semimembranosus. Pulsations of the popliteal artery can be felt in the middle of the popliteal fossa by applying deep pressure. The popliteal artery is fixed to the capsule of the knee joint by a fibrous band present just above the femoral condyles. So that is all about the surface anatomy of the popliteal fossa. We will talk about the boundaries of the fossa next. As I mentioned before, the fossa is diamond-shaped. Its boundaries are formed supralaterally, supermedially, inferiorlaterally, and inframedially. And of course, it has the floor and a roof. Upon dissection, the muscles can be seen. At the superlateral aspect, we have the biceps femoris. This muscle is one of the three muscles that make up the hamstrings, a group of muscles that run down the back of the thigh. The biceps femoris originates at the ischial tuberosity and line aspera. It inserts at the head of the fibula. While at the supraradial aspect, semitendinosus and semimembranosus are present. Semitendinosus and the semimembranosus are also part of the hamstring group. Both these muscles are part of the posterior compartment of the thigh and run down the back of the thigh. They originate at the ischial tuberosity and tibia. Next up, we have the inferolateral and inferomedial boundaries. At the inferolateral aspect, the lateral head of the gastrocnemius supplemented by the plantaris is found, while at the inferomedial aspect, the medial head of the gastrocnemius is present. The gastrocnemius is a muscle in the human body located in the lower leg's posterior compartment. It is a two-headed muscle that originates from the rear surface of the femur and inserts into the calcaneus or heel bone of the foot. Here you see the four boundaries of the popliteal fossa. Now let's look at its roof and floor. The roof of the fossa is formed by deep fascia or popliteal fascia. The superficial fascia over the roof contains the small saphenous vein, cutaneous nerves, three cutaneous nerves, namely the branches and terminal part of the posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh, the posterior division of the medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh, and the peroneal or sural communicating nerve. As for the floor of the popliteal fossa, the floor of the popliteal fossa is formed by the popliteal surface of the femur, the capsule of the knee joint and the oblique popliteal ligament, the strong popliteal fascia covering the poplatus muscle. That is all about the boundaries of the popliteal fossa. Now that we have gone through the surface anatomy, location and boundaries of the popliteal fossa, or make up the popliteal fossa. Other than the muscle that we discussed that makes up the boundaries of the popliteal fossa, there is also the popliteal artery and branches, popliteal vein and tributaries, and tibial nerve and its branches, and the common peroneal nerve in the popliteal fossa. Here you can see that these three structures are closely related. We will discuss them one by one.
Watch our medical videos anytime and anywhere. Download sqadia.com app now.